Hi, can you hear me now, Mark?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Mark, welcome to the DMA Investor Forum. And we are delighted that you were able to join us. Just while we were waiting for you to come on, I was giving a brief introduction to Templeton and to yourself. And as you know, somebody who doesn't really need much of an introduction. But I just want to share, before we have a few of your thoughts, a personal experience for the benefit of our audience, who consists primarily of institutional investors in Pakistan. You know, in 1991, we formed BMA, and I think on a late Friday afternoon, as I was sitting in the stock exchange and we were setting up our offices, laying out the carpets and fixing the telephone lines, there was a knock on the door and a gentleman popped in and asked me, is this BMA Capital? And I said yes, and he said, well, my name is Mark Mobius, and I'd like to talk to you about what's happening in Pakistan. So that was my first encounter with you, and I don't know if you recall that, but I think you know, I want to highlight that incident to our audience, because I think that is a testament to the extent to which somebody like yourself, as the head of Templeton, goes to try and identify and look into emerging markets. And we're privileged to have you with us today. I know that you've had a busy schedule, and so we will keep the tone of this discussion relatively informal, and we thought that we'd ask you a few questions, and if there's anything else that you feel you would like to say or add, we would be you know, happy to hear your views. I'm going to ask you to sort of open, and then I'm going to pass the phone on to Junaid Iqbal, who's my colleague, and he will be moderating a few questions with you.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much. Yes, I do remember our visit to Pakistan at that time, and we were just opening, and of course the market was very vibrant at that time, and of course things have changed over the years. There have been many improvements, but at the same time, it's unfortunate that the market is not as vibrant and open as it was at that time, and I hope that we can return to that more openness and more liquid market. As you know, at this time, markets around the world are under stress, but at the same time, the opportunities are much greater than they ever have been before, because prices of stocks in every market around the world have declined very low prices. So opportunities are very great. I'm now from South Africa, and here in South Africa, the stock market, like other markets, have declined. A few weeks ago, I was in Kenya, also in Jamaica, and other markets, and the opportunities can be seen in every place. So, on the one hand, things are difficult, we know, for economy, but as far as the market's concerned, the opportunities for bargain hunters like ourselves are very great.
Mr. Mobius, thank you very much once again. Our first question for the day is, obviously when markets are rising, global markets are going up, it is easy to accept potentially higher risk premium and go into emerging markets looking for much higher return. Now, how does the strategy change for an emerging markets fund manager, especially someone who has to compete for capital within his or her own group for investing more in emerging markets? How does that strategy change?
Well, the change is based on valuation. Most investors around the world, of course, are looking for opportunities to increase their return. And one of the more common methodologies, of course, is to try to get companies that either are selling at very low price earnings or low price to book, or are growing very fast. Orientation for institutional investors, because is quite common. It's either growth or value. And now, as I mentioned, there are many cities in various markets around the world. But the third, most important aspect is liquidity. As you know, most of the funds and management in the emerging markets arena are open-ended funds. That means that when investors ask for their money back, ask to redeem their shares in the open-ended funds, the fund manager must come up with cash to pay. Now, if the markets are closed or illiquid, or if there are foreign exchange controls, etc., then it creates severe problems for the fund managers. That's why you'll notice that as soon as there's any question about liquidity, about foreign exchange control, fund managers will immediately sell and exit the market because they don't want to be caught in that situation. It doesn't mean that the managers are going to be selling every day. And their intention, of course, in most cases, is to stay and not trade, because they also know that trading is not a very good investment system, because over the longer term, it results in lower returns. So the managers who are most successful tend to trade less and have longer holding periods. In our case, our average holding period is 5 years. That's an average. Of course, some companies we've held for 10, 15, even 20 years. So I think those factors, value, growth, and liquidity, those three factors are the most critical.
Mr. Mobius, you've been very bullish on Pakistan over the last few years, especially you've cited the low prices of assets, and at the same time you've been really encouraged by the strong domestic demand. Have your views changed recently, or are you still as bullish on Pakistan despite some of the market interventions, the floor, and some other liquidity issues that we have here?
Well, Pakistan as a potential growth country is certainly, population is large, so it's a large market. As you well know, you have some very, I would say many talented and intelligent people, so the potential for growth is very, very good. The problem now facing investors like ourselves is this liquidity issue I just mentioned. I know the market has, again, been reopened, but there are limitations on price movements, and that creates a very difficult situation if the fund manager needs liquidity in either direction, either to buy or to sell. So I think one of the biggest problems facing Pakistan today is the liquidity issue and the commitment to a free and fair market. And we hope that it will be possible in the not too distant future that this situation be changed, because if Pakistan is going to